Bam, we're live. Did the tea bottle travel across? No. I woke up this morning. There was a bottle of piss on the car. We drove 160 miles from Albany, New York to Boston. The bottle of piss stayed on the hood the whole time. It was kind of crazy. On the hood of the car. Seth, what's up, dude? Congratulations. Welcome to the big show. Are you kidding me? No, I am not. I got home 15 minutes ago. My wife had a killer pot of spaghetti going, like 90% meat sauce and 10% pasta. Boys jumped out of bed, ran over to me, embraced. I flew Delta back from Boston. Great airline. What a great time I had at the CrossFit Games. What a great time. I cannot believe how nice CrossFit HQ was to me. It was crazy. Like, so good. Between them and what Sarah Cox did for us, the biopeptides.com people, we absolutely murdered it. What a great time. And John and JR and Garrett and Asadov and Caleb Beaver and Souza handled the podcast. I saw Tyler Watkins was on there. So happy. Pretty damn happy. Very easy week for me, actually, doing the behind the scenes, because, in the early days for the behind the scenes, 2007, I offered to film the games, and Greg said it wasn't ready to be filmed, so we didn't film it that year. And then 2008, I did Every Second Counts, and then basically I don't know, I went on a 5 or 10 year run of filming the behind the scenes. And although I had help, mostly I did 90% of the filming myself. And this year I'm guessing I did 20% of the filming, because all I did was just follow Dave. By the way, tomorrow morning, Jason Hopper's coming on 7 a.m. I'm really stoked about that. We got Jay Crouch coming on this week, Lydia Fish, Dallin Pepper. It's going to be cool. The highlight of the week was Colton Merton's coming over to the house. And I don't know why I love that dude so much. And then he was laughing at Taylor's jokes, and I was just so enjoying. I was so enjoying that. I was so enjoying watching him laugh. I want to show you guys something before we do the Dave Castro weekend review, although I don't have much time. I need to go to bed. I want to go head on over to Seth Jump Ship. Ooh. I drove 3 hours from Albany to Boston, hung out in the airport for an hour and a half. I love Souza because he likes to get to the airport really early too. And we got there 2.5 hours early. And then by the time we were through TSA and everything, we got to just chill for an hour. Then we flew for 5.5 hours, then 30 minutes to get our luggage. And then I drove an hour home, which an hour from San Francisco to my house is fast. Hello, Mr. Dillo. Gotta head to bed, Sevon. But in advance, thanks for doing this show so late for everyone and what all you did this weekend at the games for all the viewers. We appreciate you. Love you. Bye. Thanks, dude. I want to show you this guy. I don't know if I've ever met this dude, but I respect the fuck out of him like I've met him. Maybe it's because he owns 5 affiliates. He always is very thoughtful. He's one of those people that can navigate a lot of spaces, and I respect that. And he's not a sellout. Some people who can navigate. And it looks like his chick looks like she's an Armenian chick. That's good. Not a lot of people can do that, navigate a lot of spaces without being a sellout. Anyway, I'm going to read you what he wrote about this post, and then I'm going to show you the post. Someone sent this to me on the plane. It's a picture from Ben Bergeron, and it says another figure who built his brand off the back of CrossFit's generosity to feature him and his gym for years and years in their media. That is not an understatement. That is an understatement. That is an understatement. Another figure, Ben Bergeron, who builds his brand off the back of CrossFit's generosity to feature him and his gym for years and years in their media. Now he's pretending he has something better. This leaves one of 3 points. He's flat out lying to you to market his gym and product. He never fully understood CrossFit's methodology. He's arrogant enough to truly believe he has made an improvement to Greg's life's work. I don't know if those are the only 3, but those are solid. Those are all solid takes. I don't agree with them, but this I don't even know how to process this. I don't know if I don't really know how to process this. I think Seth saw it from what Seth wrote. I think he was shocked. He must be shocked too. Let me see the comments. You know better. It's so sad to see someone I used to look up to speak disingenuous. Woo! Disingenuously. Hillerfit, God, you blow. This makes me very sad. Ben, you probably hand out Pepsi to his members. It's just I hadn't seen the comments. Your members aren't competing for the Matthew Souza, limiting human potential comp train for a tagline. Oh yeah, Taylor's gonna lose his shit. This shit is just crazy. I don't know. I don't even know really what he's saying. Anyway, here we go.
That was then, this is now. Then was CrossFit. It was about swinging on rings, walking on your hands, and doing these crazy Olympic lifts, trying to get athletes to compete and win at the sport of CrossFit.
Maybe he's talking about himself. Maybe he's not talking about the methodology. Maybe he was trying to get people to walk on their hands and do Olympic lifting. And what was the other one? Swing on rings. Just the fact that he says swing on rings shows like his angle, right? In calling them crazy Olympic lifts. They're just Olympic lifts. They're not crazy. I mean, for me, the Olympic lifts were never a challenge. There was no, I mean, by no means did I perfect them, but everyone who sees how I move is like, damn, you move good. There's nothing there. I could intellectually say, hey, open your hip. The energy from your hip, goes from core to extremity. And then, they explain it that, your hip opens and then you stay rigid and the power transfers to your hand. The same way, like if you're towing a car, you would want to tow it with a pole ideally. And then next would be a taut rope or chain. And then the worst would be a rubber band because the energy wouldn't transfer through. I mean, I can explain that to an 8-year-old. They're really, I never played any sports growing up. It was just like to do a pull-up, all I needed was someone to explain to me at 23 years old, hey, it's not a pull-up, it's a contraction of the lat. And then I could just do that. And I got my first pull-up at 23. I mean, these are, and then for him to say swing from the rings, like there's no swinging from the rings. But anyway, maybe he's talking about what he did and not what CrossFit methodology was, and Greg was trying to share with the world. But anyway, here we go.
Now, it's still hard. It's still challenging. It still produces incredible results.
What's interesting is then I think that those people doing snatches with dumbbells and climbing ropes. I mean, in actuality, probably climbing a rope is harder than a muscle up.
But it's made for people like you and me, busy people who want to get in, get out in an hour, people that want.
That's what CrossFit is. It's an hour.
To live longer, play better, look better, and feel better. It's built for you. Welcome to Comp Train. That was then.
I don't know. I guess it's that line, that was then and this is now, and then just the way he's it's just belittling. It's just belittling. Get with the programming. He's not talking about the methodology. He's talking about the sport. But calling it CrossFit just like the rest of these people bailing on CrossFit and selling their own bullshit. Yeah, and I guess it's okay to I guess I'm okay with that, except for the implication or the he's inferring that he has something better that's not swinging from rings, it's swinging from ropes. I don't know what he's doing. It's a I don't know what he's doing. It's a bad look. He's a smart guy and he's a nice guy. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's trying to do. And you guys, it was never clearer to me than this weekend that this thing is a test. This thing is not a sport. Sorry. It's just a test. It's just a really, really hard test. And each level you pass, you get to take the next one. That's all it is. And it's cool as shit. Man, the games were, they were amazing. The same bullshit script. If you want to move on from CrossFit, just leave. Don't throw shade at the company that made you. He'd be zero without early HQ investing the resources in him. Yeah, well said. Well said, Seth. Yeah, just be like, hey, just you can just be honest. Yo, hey, we're doing the same thing we've always done here. We're just not affiliated, not using the name. We have our reasons. You can or don't have to say them. I respect that. Welcome back home, Sevon. Thank you. Good to be here. Great to be back in my little studio. I want to address one more thing that I didn't see clearly that two people told me separately. And I don't really know how to do it. I'm not sure how to do it. I don't know how to do it without being disparaging. Someone sent me a Reddit thread where I'm getting just utterly ass-pounded regarding the incident with Brooke Wells. I mean, it's a complete mischaracterization and misrepresentation of what happened, but that doesn't matter. And I just realized something that I didn't realize before. Is the CrossFit Reddit thread mostly Europeans? That would make so much sense. I don't know why it's so Marxist and so shallow in thought. I don't know why that platform attracts all the victim class. I don't understand that. Is all of Reddit attract the victim class, or is it just the CrossFit? That's where the 20 or 30. I don't know. It's a trip. But two different people sent this to me. They were first of all, if you I'm just gonna set the reality of it. If your Instagram account, if you post a picture, let's say so let me look at Tia's. I'm gonna show you Tia's account. I looked at Tia's account today and I went back Tia Claire Toomey. And I went back so far. I went back to 2020. And you won't find a single thirst pick in here. Now, there's obviously her body's fucking just perfect. Like, her skin's perfect, her hair's perfect, her eyes are perfect, her tits are perfect, her stomach's perfect. Like, everything about her's perfect. And obviously, she worked really hard for it, and her calves are perfect. And, like, look at this one. Her armpit's perfect, and her stomach's perfect. I mean, she's just a beautiful creature. Absolutely stunning. Doesn't wear a shitload of makeup. But if you go back to 2020, she has 2 million followers on Instagram. And I have 8,000. So she has 1,992,000 more followers than me. Look at even this one. For a second, I thought maybe her nipples were hard in it, but they're not. It's just a piece of chalk in her sports bra. There's not a single thirst pic, and yet you can see her body in motion, but everything is related to her, athleticism and her fitness, you see? And there's no embarrassment of posting pictures of her husband. She's not trying to, like, hide him so that, like, guys chase her. There's no embarrassment of the fact that she's a mom. Um, she's just doing her, and she's showing you her, and I hate to use this word, and I'm sorry if she hears this and thinks it's, objectifying in any way, but her brand, isn't around, thirst picks or lust, or you know what I mean? Being like, "Damn, that bitch is hot, I wanna fuck her." That's not her, that's not her deal. And yet and yet, like, we can see her body, it's great, but it's always doing what it she her body in these pictures is doing what she's trained it to do, right? So her parents are probably pretty proud of her. She stays true to, brand, right? And it's focused. It's just tons of it's all just athleticism and being a mom and a wife, right? Training, being a mom and a wife. Training, being a mom and a wife. That's what you get from her. Training, being a mom and a wife. Training, being a mom and a wife. I mean, it's just years of that. You won't find one thirst pick in here. Is there anyone who wants to disagree with that? I'm open if you want to disagree with it. And so if you post a picture of yourself in a, bikini, and it's very tiny and you're on your knees, you know, I'm gonna tell you what boys are gonna think. And so how I know this is I'm 53 years old, and, I don't know at what age it starts, but there's an age with boys, no matter who they are, the classiest men, the most religious men, the least classiest men, the most violent men, the gayest men, just any kind of man. When you see, someone on their knees in a bikini, um, or just girls on their knees, boys think about oral sex. That's what how men work, right? They just see someone on their knees, or they think they'll make jokes. You know, like, Taylor had really bad gas, and he was on all four in the living room trying to get into, like, child's pose and shit, and as we all walked in, we all took turns butt fucking him. You know what I mean? Making the gesticulation of butt fucking him, and it's what boys do. It's not bad boys, it's not good boys. It's why the light bulb was invented. It's why we have the defibrillator. It's why we have, uh, portable dialysis machine. It's why we have the electric car. It's because those are mating strategies for dudes who wanna get fuck, right? And if you don't know that, you either don't know yourself as a man in the origins of you haven't done enough sitting and meditating to see why you move, or you fucking liar. Um, and so if you if you're a parent and your child builds a brand that you can't accept, so you lie to yourself of what that brand is, and then after years of lying about what that brand is that your child has presented to the world, someone finally calls it out. Instead of realizing, "Oh shit, it really is that," um, you could attack the messenger. And I realized that that's what's going on with Reddit. and but that's not why the people sent it to me. But it works all around that 99% of these people who are mad at me because I'm the messenger, and they're you know that statement, don't kill the messenger. And so if you're posting pictures of yourself on your knees or on all four, or you're a girl and you're posting pictures of yourself in a bikini on the internet, it's okay. I'm not judging it in a negative way at all. 0. 0, 0, 0. I have no problem with thirst pics. I absolutely love the male and female human body. I don't like the butthole, but other than that, all the other parts I pretty much like. So, and that's my shortcoming, that, I'm not into the butthole. So anyway, that was just good for me to hear that, right? You point out some sort of truth as the messenger and someone gets mad at you because they've been suppressing what they've known all along, but you actually just showed them and told them. And so and they were saying this in relationship to Brooke Wells' dad. It wasn't the fact, he wasn't really mad at me for the fact that I said what I said about her. I think it was what I said about her book. I said, I hope her book has some sex in it. He wasn't mad at me. He was mad at the fact that he knows that 99% of their followers that follow his daughter are dudes who are 100,000 times worse than me, and he doesn't want to acknowledge it. So 2 different people basically explained that to me, and I was like, oh yeah, duh. Why didn't I see that? Because I really didn't say anything bad about him. JR also explained to me, and JR has a couple daughters, that I also would be pissed if someone said that about my daughter. I don't think I would, but I accept it and I'll believe it. And I'll never have daughters, so I won't know. At least I don't know if I'll never have daughters, but I don't think so. So I won't know. I won't be able to run that test. But along those same thoughts of what JR had, I think it's fair to say that. Anyway, you guys get the point. You guys get the point. Okay. Jason Hopper's coming on tomorrow morning. Thought I'd say that again. Okay. Dave Castro. That's what Dave Castro. Had a great time with Dave this weekend. I had a great time with Dave. I got to meet Jay DeCoons for the first time. I got to meet the CFO at CrossFit. I got to hang out with Dawn. Got to hang out with a lot of Nicole Carroll, Jenna Hawka. It was cool. I had a really good time. I mean, I shouldn't say hang out. That makes it sound like it's more than it is, but rub shoulders. Everyone was human to me. It was good. Gives me a big dose of reality. Luke, as the girl dad, I disagree with JR. It comes down to the standards you raise them by and the way they portray themselves. All right. Oh yeah, Travis, you look great, by the way. You look good. You were giving me like Yellowstone vibe, like young Kevin Costner. You look great. Okay, looks like Dave made this earlier today when he was still at the venue. Look at, they're packing up and shit. All right, let's party.
Monday, August 4th, 2025. Week in review. Back in the stadium a week ago, I filmed the same video from here when they were setting up. Now I'm filming from here as the team's behind me breaking down. Games are over. Games ended last night. We have a new male champion, Jason Hopper.
Man, the events were insane. The races were insane. Ooh, I'm a little dizzy. When I sat up, I felt dizzy. The races were insane. They were so crazy.
And we have an 8-time Games female champion, 8-time winner in Tia Claire Toomey. and really happy with the event. Really happy with the games overall. It had there was a lot of great energy from the fans, from the athletes, from the volunteers, from everyone involved. So I think
It was cool to hear Colton talk about that, right? About how great the energy was and the vibe. I loved that. I loved it when he was talking about that on the podcast. Holy cow, that was a crazy podcast.
was from my perspective, from where I was, I think it played out pretty well. So proud of everyone who was involved in making it happen. The team here, the staff, the volunteers, the community at large. I'm going to jump into a couple questions.
It really moved this year. If you're a fan of the games and you've been to a lot of games and you didn't go to this one, you really missed out. This was a unique one. It was really moving. It was really moving. It was cruising.
And then I'll have some additional thoughts and maybe things to say as we go through this. Not questions, comments from. So I looked through last week's Week in Review. I'm only going to address a few of the comments from the last 12 hours or so. It's 10:40 right now Eastern in the morning, and so I have a flight this afternoon. Walked in and decided to do this. At Jenna Adams 1 hour ago, the event in Albany was amazing. We loved attending every day, even with our 7-week-old baby. Everything was so fun, exciting to watch. Fantastic job to your team, and we appreciate you bringing the games to Albany. Albany was great. I loved doing it here. This venue was amazing. I personally, part of the reason
a lot of kids, man. A lot of kids and babies there. A lot of kids and babies.
We made the decision to find a new location after last year's games. There was a short time frame to do it, and there was a short list of cities that were able to host, and Albany was one of them. And obviously, we've had experience working events here before because of the regionals, and I remember the energy then in a different format. The regionals are much different than the games, and I knew that energy would be we'd be able to bring it back, and it'd be even bigger than when we did the regionals here. And I
think it got 3/4 full at its peak on Saturday. I think it was probably 3/4 full. I'd be curious to hear if it was, what Dave's numbers are on that.
Felt that. I think a lot of the people in the building really did like the layout here, this Coliseum, the energy inside of it. And so, yeah, I think it was, I'm glad we brought them here. And thank you for the note. At Extra Sloppy, first games from the comfort of our home, and the broadcast was great. The workouts were fun to watch, and there were little hiccups in terms of execution of the events. Good job. See you in Madison next.
Yeah, I heard I haven't seen the broadcast, but I heard it was dope. I heard Chase and Adrian killed it.
Sure. I don't know if we're going to Madison next year, but that would be cool. The broadcast, in terms of the broadcast being great, I obviously wasn't able to watch any of the broadcast because I was on the floor watching it from down there. I'll check some of it out through.
So during the broadcast, the drone operator tried to do a tricky maneuver and fly through the uprights of one of the rigs Rogue built, and he crashed into the rig, and the drone spun out of control and crashed to the ground. And then they put the drone back up again after that. They guess they changed the propellers and put the drone back up. Very easy to do, $20 fix. And at first, Dave was like, hey, what the fuck? Take the drone down. I don't want it up anymore since it fell. And I was like, nah, dude, it's fine. Those things happen. Fuck it. Well, what's funny, let me go back a second. Earlier in the morning, we were looking at the drone, me and him, and he turns to me and he goes, do those ever crash? I'm like, no, they're made in China. Of course they don't crash. A couple hours later, this thing fucking crashes. And so they put it back up after it crashes, and he's flipping out. He's like, man, that thing can't be up again. Thing's got to come down. That thing, we're done with that. And I felt sorry for Charlie because it's a really good shot. It's an important shot, right? It's a completely different angle. It can go anywhere. It's a good backup shot to cut away to. But then I realized that once it crashes once and it doesn't hit anyone, if it crashes again and it hits someone, that would be a really bad look, right? So you got the drone operator there. He crashes the drone. You put it back up. It's not going to happen again. But if it did and you didn't learn from the first time and you put it up. So I didn't see it again. They told him to pull it down. I felt bad for Charlie because I know it's an important shot. Yeah, it's a sick shot. So even that being said, the stream was still absolutely amazing. Look at, here we go. The stream was incredible. Workouts created absolutely incredible. Yeah, the races were nuts. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen too. That's why it's so stupid to critique the workouts. I don't want to say it's stupid to critique the workouts, but you got to tread lightly. You got to tread lightly because when you see them roll out on the floor, they were so fucking intense and the scoring was so close. It was so well programmed. The broadcast was excellent, satisfied my extreme FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah. That coverage was absolutely perfect. Feedback from afar, it looked like a community festival again. I can see the trickled effect being higher open signups in February. Yeah. Dude, it was awesome. It was a great test.
The course of the next couple weeks.
Crowd was great.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I've heard that the coverage was really good. I worked with a lot of the team leading up, obviously. Chase and some of the people talking about the workouts, and Adrian briefed them every day on the workouts. A lot of people behind the scenes on the broadcast. They have a lot of experience. They've been doing this for a very long time. Some of the new people on the media team in leadership roles jumped right in and led those people well and provided the support they needed to do a great job with the broadcast. So really happy to hear that you enjoyed it, and it seems to have been very popular and worked done well in some of on the streams, etc. At jeffboyer.m6i. Dave, great job to you and your team for the games. I always spend this weekend away with my grandson at a lake that has no service. Thanks for posting the exact times of each event. We're both fans and we're able to ride our bikes up to a high spot about a mile away to watch each event. Keep up the good work.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. How many events did you do that for? I mean, if you rode up for every event, you would have got at least 10 miles up. So thanks for the support. Hope you got some fitness in with
the viewing numbers are crazy this year. That's another thing. The YouTube viewing numbers are completely out of fucking control. I think they got over 1 million views on every video already. It's nuts.
All the biking to get to a place where you could have connection. At Grey Ghost 07, great games thus far. There are plenty of good battles. Do you think it was a lack of execution why the pegboard stopped so many athletes? Or is there anything to the chatter we are hearing that some layers had slippery boards? Killing it, Dave. Can't wait to hear about the unknown. The unknown ended up being the addition of the 100 meters to the 300 5-round 300 IE4 workout. We ended up making it 400 meters per round on the runner, the rogue runner. I think that was totally the right call to make, and I think that event turned out to be really good. I liked the races that we saw there. I liked if we would have kept it at 300, I think it would have been a little too fast for what I was looking for. And basically, after I announced it, we just started looking around. I actually asked the Proven Camp if they're going to do it, and if they could have some athletes that didn't qualify or that even qualified because it was public at that point, do it and send me some times. They provided me with the times that they're doing. I looked at all the times and I'm like, okay. And I asked a few other athletes in the community to do it. They all provided times with the 5-round 300 version that we had announced. And I said, okay, it's a little fast. So prior to even coming out here, I used that opportunity to say, okay, I told Boz, hey, we are going to end up on scene changing this to 400. Then it was a matter of when do we want to do it? And so actually the night before at the athlete brief, we were going to do it then, but they kind of, after the brief was done, I was going to bring them to the floor and tell them, but they kind of broke and went in multiple directions. We lost a little command and control there. And so I made a joke. All right, we'll just do it. We'll just do it. I said, we'll announce the twist tomorrow. And a few people heard me say that, a few of the coaches. I'd also planted throughout the week. I talked to the athletes multiple times, letting them know that it's the CrossFit Games and there might be twists. So I kind of laid the foundation for that. The interesting thing is during the brief, Boz actually said at some point run 500, I'm sorry, run 5 rounds of run 400. And then he goes, I'm sorry, I mean 300. So he let it slip a little, but nobody even knew. So it worked out well. And then the next morning, I just went in there before the first heat was supposed to go out, pulled them together and told them, hey, here's what you guys are doing. This is the change that we're making. As far as the pegboard, man, I mean, here's the deal. You look at some of the teams doing it, and they were going back and forth, back and forth.
I'm convinced that the pegboard issue is because of chalk. And as the chalk got on the pegboards, they turned to ice. I agree with what Colton said. I accept Colton's assessment. Either you can't use plexiglass pegboards in the future, or you have to wipe the pegboards down after every event. But there was chalk getting on people's feet. The chalk got on the pegboards, and it turned them into ice. So it was like walking on ice. The end of story. Just accept it. It is what it is. And if Down Pepper would have won that, well, anyway.
Forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth the entire time. And what I mean by that is one person was climbing, one was coming down. One was climbing, one was coming down. Pretty consistent. And I think it's a combination of, in the individual version, you had to manage your own rest. So you could push it a little too far. You could push it a little too much, mismanage or not manage your rest appropriately, and it can catch up on you quickly. That combined with what a lot of people are saying, the misuse or excessive use of chalk can provide a surface that's, if you're putting chalk on your shoes or you're getting chalk on the board, I think that might have had an effect. I personally believe it was more, and people are upset that I'm saying this, some of the athletes don't appreciate that I'm saying this, but I think it was more mismanagement of rest period relative to where they were in the workout and at that point. And so I don't think that there was an inconsistency. They're just plastic plexiglass walls, and they're the same ones that we've used at every single
Not the
CrossFit Games.
inconsistency.
They
were getting chalk on them
from any of the other ones that we've ever had. I think it was a cool event. I think it really mixed things up. I think when you look at some of the athletes who did really well at it, especially on the female side, they were lighter weight, maybe a little smaller, and really good at the body weight stuff. So I think it was fair, fine, and I'm happy with it. Williams.
No, wrong answer. No, you're not happy with it. Don't ever do it again unless you're going to wipe the boards down. Don't use plexiglass boards anymore.
Please, this was 5 days ago. This was after, so I talked about the workouts and naming them or not naming them. I mentioned that here, then got hammered, or not hammered, but got a lot of feedback that we should name them. And so I'm just reading this. Please name the workouts. It's so iconic. So saw that, then people started hitting us up. Hey, you guys should name them. And so I told Paz, all right, let's come up with some names. And we started working on some names. Then Chase was like, hey, I can provide, Chase sent me an email and said, hey, or a text. I really think you should name them. If you want, I can send you some ideas. So I said, yeah, send me some ideas. So Chase sent a full list of names. And then I looked at what we had. I looked at what he had, combined them. And we ended up using about half of the names that Chase suggested. So I think it was cool. I think some of the names were good. I'm happy we named them.
Snatch and dash. That was a mistake.
That worked out well.
Not to use that.
Again,
dash and snatch.
Looking behind us.
Snatch and dash.
Teams cleaning up. Teams wrapping up. Great venue. A lot of good memories were created here this weekend. Great event. Thank you, Albany, for hosting us. Thank you to the arena. Thank you to the town. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to the community. Thank you to the athletes, everyone involved. We put on a great show for CrossFit, and I'm proud of everybody who contributed. Thank you, guys, and leave your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you next week, hopefully in California from home. I'm leaving today, but for the weekend review, hopefully on Monday, it'll be back in Aromas from the ranch. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Good job, Dave. Dave killed it. He's a fucking stud. He's so impressive. Holy shit, he's impressive. The whole team's impressive. Chuck, Adrian, Heather, Todd, Eubanks. Everyone, like, there's so many fucking impressive people. It was good. It was really good. The forklift drivers are elite. Next year is the 20th games. I swear Dave said they were going to try going somewhere special. I'd imagine that's Carson or the ranch, not Europe. Yeah, definitely not Europe. Fuck Europe. I guess you could do one more event there for the whole place. It turns Muslim. All right, that's it. That's the show. I'm going to bed. But Sevi, if they go to Europe, it'll be packed. Whatever. Bring it back to California. Do it in Santa Cruz. I think there's a lot of places you could do it where you will get more people than Albany. Albany was a trip. Albany was like doing it in Oakland. All right, guys. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys in 8 hours. I'm also trying to put a show together tomorrow night. Let me see if the boys have responded. For sure, John Young will be here. I'm gonna try to get JR, John, and Chase on tomorrow night. That'll be a good group. That'll be a great group. And that will be there'll be no like, I mean, I don't think I can't promise you. There's not going to be any talk of like waffle stomping, you know what I mean, and washing shoes with poop on them in the sink and what's going on at CrossFit Jekyll and Hyde or whatever that place is called, Hyde and Jekyll. It'll just be where I'm going to pull up the events and we're going to go through them, talk about like our memories of them. Things that we changed. Man, I had a gnarly fight with the boys today. Gnarly fight. I think it was 1 on 11. I think I was me versus the whole group. I was having to fight everyone simultaneously. And basically the discussion is that I don't think that there should be bikes in the CrossFit Games. I don't think there should be assault bikes in the CrossFit Games. I don't think there should be ergs. And I get it. I get it why people think that there should be, but they're wrong. I just need to figure out how to articulate it better. Maybe we should have the fight on air. You guys could watch it. 1 on 11. Just watch me just get beat up. But I mean, I stood my ground. It's just so stupid. I just don't want, like, machines are for the elderly, for training, for rehabilitation, for warming up, but you know, I was thinking, like, have you ever heard of anyone hurting themselves like on a bike or a rower or a skier or a C2 bike? I mean, it's the safety games. It's just so and what are you really testing? Oh, you're testing intensity and wattage and metabolic capacity, but in what functional manner? You don't even need to balance on that bike that you're on. It's so lame. You know what I equate it to? The simile I use, the boys didn't get it. But I equate it to like watching porn before you have sex. It's like, no, that's what foreplay is for. That's why you squeeze titties and kiss and stare into their eyes and shit like that. It's just so not it's just not, I don't like it. Anyway. I spewed for 30 minutes after the road bike. Yeah, you can get that. I'm not suggesting that it's not an incredible piece of equipment for building fitness or puking or It's funny. Someone on YouTube goes, God, Sevon, I can't believe you don't think the bike is good for fitness. It's like, are you a fucking retard? Of course it's good for fitness. It's just horrible for a test. It's not what the test is about. And I get it. People who are newer to CrossFit, since it's always been here, they think, oh, but it is CrossFit. Well, you know what's going to happen? You know that new machine that Concept 2 has? It's like a squat press machine. You know those things at the gym where you lay on your back and you squat, you push the weight up. And we all laugh at those. We're like, those jackasses. Well, you just wait. In 2 years, when those are in the games, all of you guys are going to be like, what are those doing here? Oh, shit. That's what Sevon was talking about. Anyway, I'm too tired. What about Jacob's Ladder, obstacle courses, all that shit? We'll talk. Let's talk. Let's discuss. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
I cracked the code. I pulled the 6 trays out of the kitchen dehydrator 18 months ago. I took all of the beef chips straight to Las Vegas, found my friends, forced them to eat beef chips. I got 100% positive feedback rate, and I knew from that moment